Welcome to a little segment I like to call Bumps and Bends. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Bumps and Bends. Here we are at Homestead, Miami Speedway. This is the road course for the Formula Sprint in the USF 2000. Fixed setup, 15-minute race, which works out to be about 11 laps of this track. Thanks to everyone for subscribing. Feel free to click on that subscribe button down below, and yeah, hopefully I can give you some good content. Now onto the track. This is my second practice session after watching an official race session earlier this morning. The guys are pretty fast, down to a low 23s. My best time of a 23.9, fairly competitive, and I'm finding the more time I spend here, where of course practice, the better your lap times are going to go. My first practice session, I just couldn't get my head around the track. 26s, 25s. I'm like, how do these guys do it? Then I got a 24/7. Then I went away, just walked away, completely walked away for about 10-15 minutes. And then I came back, jumped back in the car, and all of a sudden I was a second faster and found low 24s for me personally. Pretty comfy, and that's pretty much my pace. Now let's have a look at a lap. The first thing you need to remember is this might be an open wheeler aero car, but there is very low aero in the mid-track section of this oval or roval track, and you need to play around with the slide. I got myself down to a 23.9 with an optimal of a 23.4. Stringing a lap together is not as easy as I thought it would be. One tiny little mistake and it'll cost you a few tenths. So let's have a look at a 23.9. With flat stick. Third gear corner here. Just manage the understeer slide. Try and use as much track without losing the rear end. Real dipper corner here. Use as much of the exit as you can. Now got to deal with a couple of long straights. Get it slowed down as straight as possible. It's all about how early you can get on the throttle. It is quite loose. Braking hard and straight, but really trying to turn it in without wiping off too much speed, and then just try and get on that throttle as fast and as smooth as possible. Minimize the wheel spin. This is one of those go hard corners. Really enjoy it. You can use a bit of the curb, but not too much. It'll damage the car. Watch the grass on the outside. Just really bring it in. And this is just about patience. Try not to use too much of the oval section on exit, as you'll damage the front wing. And that is a 23.9. So let's have a look at it corner by corner. So coming up to the top of the race, my joystick isn't working, unfortunately. Can't adjust the camera angle. If we go far chase, that'll have to be it today. So go as close to the wall here as possible, and as you're sweeping into turn 1, you can use that ripple strip if you like. I was more focusing on the entry for turn 2, just about braking as straight as you can into third gear and try and hit the inner apex as fast as you can. And really manage that wheel spin. Down to second here. Now I'm really trying to get my tire towards the white line and stay towards the left side of the track. I find if you put too much speed on exit of this corner, you're ending up wide and you're spending some really valuable time trying to get back over to the left side of the track for the following corner. So I'm happy to sacrifice a little bit of speed here, but I really want to get as close to that grass as possible for the tip in. Now it's quite a bowl section here, but you'll see that new asphalt section. Use that as a guide and just get on that throttle really early and maximize your exit. You can pretty much straight line this ripple strip. It's fairly smooth. And stay to the left side of the track. There's no point gumming out here because the following corner is a right-hander and you have to come back here anyway. So just work your way up the gears. And you'll see as the asphalt gets a little bit darker. So from here until the corner of that wall there and the ripple strip on the left, I'm braking just before that. Nice and straight braking. You don't want to wipe off too much speed because you want to get on the throttle a lot earlier. Just try and carry it through. Understand it's quite a flat section of the track and the car will understeer. And if you get on the throttle too early, right at the exit point here, if you get on the throttle just a little bit too early, the car will over rotate and head towards the wall on the right here. So just really try and straight line. No need to go out hard left. Now you'll see there's a break in the fence up here. I'm using that as my braking marker. The more time you spend here, you'll find you can brake a little bit later. I've got my braking bias to 54.9 today. And yeah, I found it's not too much. If I've wound it further to the rear. The rear was getting quite loose in the midsection of the track, and I was spending too much time gathering up the slide before I was getting grip. So 54.9 for me was quite good. And at this part of the track, you'll see that ripple strip on the right there. Just guide your tire along the line here and maximize the corner entry. So I'm really trying to tuck the tire towards this white line. I don't want to go out too wide. There's the fast in, slow out is very, very important here. You don't want that. I'm just going for a medium, and your focus is trying to get on the throttle, full throttle, as smoothly as possible. Once again, it's a low grip section and you're going to spin the rear tires, and any grip that you lose here will really hurt you towards the end of the straight. So just try and get on full throttle as smooth as possible. And as you're exiting this section and heading towards the oval, just this little part here, that's a bit bumpy, but I just found it's a bit of a cut that you don't get next for. And then just work your way towards the wall. Work your way towards the wall, and you'll hit the end of the gear just at corner entry, chuck it in sixth. Now here, you can use quite a lot of circuit, but you'll see the exit of the ripple strip here does raise a bit. It will damage your car. You'll get a 0x contact if you use too much curb. You'll see the road just dips away into the grass there. So it damages the car. You can use it, but not too much. And you find overall the car has low grip. The track has low grip, sorry. And if you are too aggressive here, on the exit of the sweeper, it'll actually send you out wide. And it's really important to be stable in this part of the track. It's your fastest part of the circuit. So really bring it out wide, but be careful of this grass here. If you use even just a little bit of it, the car is going to get loose and the rear is going to want to get away from you. So risk versus reward, it can be a little bit risky, but not too much. You want to be as wide as possible for the following corner, but you don't want to lose the car. So I've used a bit of, and I'm just trying to get hard on the brakes. It's definitely a third gear corner here. You're still using this part of the track to gather it up, and you want to get towards the start of the rubbered in section of the track. And this is the most important part of the circuit. You can be too aggressive and you'll lose way too much time. You can be too conservative and you'll lose even more. So you got to find that balance of attacking the corner while giving it quite a lot of respect on entry, middle of the chicane and the exit. The whole lot, just give it a bit of respect. Bring it over and you're trying to get down to second gear and really cut it in. Don't abuse the chicane too much, but also use it to help the car rotate and bounce. The race that I watched, the guy in second place used a tiny bit more curb. His car launched into the air and smashed his rear wing. These are quite solid. These, if you could call them tires, they're not very round. But you really want to focus on your exit. You don't want to use too much of the oval section. But the earlier you rotate the car and prepare for the corner, the better exit you're going to have. Really get it on there. Use the bump to rotate the car a little bit. And just nice and smooth on the throttle. The wheels are spinning. And you just got to find that moment where a full throttle will spin a little bit, but then go into full traction. And I've used a little bit of the oval there. If you use too much, if you enter it just a little bit earlier, it will damage your front wing, and that will affect your performance for the rest of the race. And that is a 23.9. So rolling start. This is the pit entry here, but you'll notice the safety car doesn't enter until this part here. He really throws it in late and goes over the cones. Just be prepared that if you damage yourself, you can't turn in here. You'll get a drive through for that. That entry there on the left, just up here, will be the proper entry. But there's also a chicane. There's a chicane at the pit entry, so it goes. Sorry about this with the mouse. It goes right and then left. So you really got to be careful not to get an X on pit entry. It's quite a tough pit entry. But yeah, I hope you enjoy that. It's been a fun challenge, to be honest. I haven't done this track before, and I've really enjoyed learning the nuances of the track. A very low grip track, so just become comfortable with your slide, and just find that perfect balance between aggressive and conservative, and you'll yield the best pace. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Down if you didn't. Make sure you subscribe and come check me out on Twitch. If you've got any ideas, feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'm glad to listen and hopefully learn from them and become even faster. Catch you later, guys. See you next time.